Yup. And good morning.
Yes, it is a good morning.
It's Friday, baby.
Favorite day. I still, we've done the show this way for years now, but there was once a time where we did not do the show this way. And while on the one hand, I'm really rather proud of myself for coming up with the Firearms Friday format. And yet, why didn't I think of it sooner? Why did we do shows on Friday that were not Firearms Friday? Anyhow, because white hats matter and...
Hey, Sergeant Major's watching over on Rumble says, good morning, shooters. Watch your lane. Indeed. And we've got a lane to watch this. But first, let's say good morning to some people. I see Lindsey Graham's ladybugs.
Shoo, buddy.
Habeas, are you sure you don't mean Lindsey Graham's lady parts? All right. Steve's with us. All right. And Sergeant Major's on Twitch as well. You're just all over the damn place, old man. Poncho, good morning. Uncle Steve, good morning. Megan, hello. And I see Danny and Biscuits. Good morning.
And wait, I want to be clear about something. That's Daniel Munoz from the TPS report.
So, speaking of the TPS report, Danny and Alex covered this next bit, this first bit that we're about to cover. Covered it last night and did a pretty solid job with it. Sorry, I missed you live. I missed the first half of it live. I was at another thing with George Kellichek and the voice of Rockdale last night. But yes.
Danny, don't talk to me that way.
That's for you, Danny. That's for you.
You are not having the effect on me you think you are talking that way. Just stop. Ooh.
We got Diggs BTW7. What's up? All right. So, what happened was, this is not a funny story, but there is a little funny with it. Assault weapon, that button. Assault weapons ban vote delayed amid Democrat infighting. The vote wasn't delayed. That's inaccurate. The vote was intentionally postponed.
That's a delay.
There's a big difference. This headline, vote delayed amid Democrat infighting, that suggests, it's like saying it was an accident rather than a collision. It's assuming that there's no one at fault.
It could be your fault and still be an accident.
Okay, if you'd like to get spun off the topic and argue about some emotional language usage and psychological warfare here, we can do that. But my point is this: the use of this word, delayed, instead of the word postponed, is disingenuous. The objective of using the wrong word in a headline like this is to give you the wrong impression. And this is Breitbart. So I'm a little annoyed that Breitbart would hit us with some of that Russell conjugation right off the rip.
Okay.
You want to keep quibbling about that, or can we cover the story?
We can cover it.
Thank you. The reason I'm making the point about the use of the language here is because what has happened is Nancy Pelosi has intentionally pulled the ban vote and postponed it. They've postponed it intentionally, not inadvertently had it delayed by some unforeseen or inevitable circumstance. They have discovered that they can't get the votes to pass it and are afraid politically of a big loss as they're going into an absolute murder fest of a midterm election. The Democrats simply cannot afford to post any more L's. And that's the reason that Nancy has decided to pull this without a vote. So basically, you have to understand that, and Alex made a good point about this last night. This is what the phone calls are for, guys. This is why you call your reps. This is why you email them. Even if you happen to be stranded in a district full of dirtbag Democrats with a representative that thinks that Guam is going to tip over if you put too many Marines on it, you need to lodge your displeasure with those representatives, right? That's one of your fundamental constitutional rights, to address your government, to petition your government for redress of grievances. So, and that brings us to this clip that I want to use real quick. And guys, this is just amazing. Mr. Bishop takes a swing and he knocks it out of the park. I don't think he expected this conversation to go as well. I know, in his right? Direction.
Man,
it's like he pointed at the wall. He called his home run hit, and then 3 runners materialized on the base that he didn't expect there to be before he swung the bat.
I know, he set one mousetrap, and they all just materialized, all the mousetraps just materialized, and suddenly there were no more rats for a quarter mile within a radius of that spot. Anyhow, let's do it. This is fantastic.
To anyone on the other side who would dispute that this bill bans weapons that are in common use in the United States.
He even points. I will yield, and that's a ballsy maneuver. I will yield to anyone on the other side who will make the argument that this bill does not ban weapons in common use. And that language is extremely important because it is a specific reference to a very specific piece of legislation, or not legislation, I'm sorry, to a very specific court decision, right? He's making direct reference to Heller versus DC, which was a half-measure decision, by the way, because the Second Amendment is verbally absolute. The Heller decision was between judges who believe that you have a right to keep and bear arms, but not an absolute right to do so, and the left wing of the court that says guns cannot be owned by citizens, period. Right? But even the far right extremist on the court said, well, there are some reasonable exceptions, like sawed-off shotguns. No, you're wrong, Scalia. That's not a reasonable exception. That's a direct violation of the Constitution. Right? So, thanks. You did okay. But, I mean, he points, and here it is, knocks it out of the park.
Today. Would anyone on the other side dispute that this bill would ban weapons that are in common use in the United States today?
Would the gentleman yield?
I would, for an answer to that question.
Yeah, that's the point of the bill.
That's the point of the bill.
They keep saying the quiet part out loud. You remember shortly after...
But we're not coming for your guns.
You remember shortly after Obama got elected, and I think it was Time magazine that ran the cover, "We're all socialists now." Remember that?
Yep.
So we're no longer a center-right country. We're a center-left country. Are we, though? Are we really? Because I feel like what Obama did was give a good speech. Well, he gave a mediocre speech and made it sound good.
Yeah,
that's what he did.
That was Obama's brilliant trick. Is he He actually didn't give great speeches. He was a great speaker.
Yeah, he made it sound like he
sounded
Yeah.
excellent.
Anyhow,
But the man was a little more than a talented sophist.
But they started saying the quiet part out loud because, I don't know, I guess they felt like they had closed the net or they had enough popular support, but as Steve calls him, chesty pants, which there's so many things you could call Jerry Naddler. Like there's
Shitty pants won't stain my hands.
right. Jowls Naddler. Anyhow. But he just straight up says the quiet part out loud. Well, that's the point of the bill, is to ban the guns that are in common use. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's the part we have a problem with. So, unsurprisingly, after Naddler says the quiet part out loud, Nancy Pelosi pulls the bill. That's, man, I think Razorfest would call that one hell of a coinky goddamn dink.
Yep. And so the reference to Heller there, how many times have you heard one of these Democrats, well, we're not coming for your guns. We're not coming for your guns. We want common sense gun control. You know, because think of the children. We're the children. We want you to be slaves so that your children will be slaves. If you ever hear a Democrat, you ever hear anybody from now on say, we're not coming for your guns, they're lying. We've known it. Now we have proof. Right? That's the point of the bill. The entire point of every gun control measure is to make you a slave.
Yeah. Actually, I would agree with that, because the more you can defend yourself, the more you can also defend concepts, and the less likely you are to be a slave. So, there's...
And TPS report, Alex,
Yeah, we're gonna...
man, we're just about to talk about that.
Yeah, we're gonna get there, I promise, okay?
You already scooped us on this crap last night, man. Just hold on a minute.
Anyhow, but let's see. I just wanted to say hey to your mother, Rob Hova. Fish and Golf and Guns joined us, and there was somebody else, and now the chat has scrolled up. But so if I missed you, I saw you, and hello. And even though JDF can't watch us live anymore, I'm just going to throw this out there and say hello to JDF, because
we miss you.
They're going to catch us on the replay.
And I have noticed JDF. I've seen that she's been leaving comments on videos after the show, and I appreciate that.
So anyhow, we call this a win, and it's a legit win. And it's funny how it came about. Like they told the truth, and then their policy failed. Huh? It's almost like the left can't tell the truth and win. I feel like channels like us have been saying that for a while now, and I feel like even before there were YouTube channels, like that has been one of the main criticisms the right has of the left. If the left tells the truth, they lose. Well, here you go. So, but the thing that Alex was referencing, apparently the vote's going to come back around, and they're going to pull this cute shit right here. Okay, they're going to include like funding for police officers. Okay. So in other words, they're going to restrict your access to firearms, but they're going to give cops more resources, and they think you're going to feel better about this compromise. Look, y'all, I'm laughing because it's that or cry.
And I dare you. I absolutely defy you to go and point to a legitimate compromise that the left has ever submitted to. I dare you.
Yeah. Yeah, like, when they say compromise, what they mean is that our side compromises. That's what they mean. Actual compromise where there's this fascinating exchange that happened with Marco Rubio some time ago. And I'm not Marco Rubio's biggest fan, but this exchange was very illustrative. He was being asked by some CNN anchor, said, "Oh, well, won't you just compromise?" And Mark Rubio was like, "Well, I don't know, maybe not." And they were like, "Oh, you won't compromise?" And he's like, "You mean compromise for the sake of compromise? No, I won't do that." See, for a long time, compromise has been defined as, everybody loses something, right? Now, that's not how we would define compromise. If Chris and I were going to compromise on something, we would both try and gain something in the transaction, not lose something in the transaction. But for some reason in Washington, D.C. and in the media that supports it, compromise is this thing where everybody loses. And it's not typically the left that's the big loser in those. So when they want to compromise on their gun bill, yeah, no, they're not actually compromising. They're still going to ban assault weapons, which is a whole other thing. So keep calling.
Is it not a thing?
Yeah. Well, they're all a thing. They're all assault. Okay, great. It's an assault pistol. It's an assault bow and arrow. It's an assault spear. Like,
are you kidding me? I have personally employed an assault jukebox. Very effective, by the way.
Pit Danny says compromise means Dems win. Yes, that's true. And then Steve says no compromise. F them. So here's what we do, guys. Okay, we continue to call, email. It's really not that hard. You can Google who your representative is and the best number to call them. Okay. Don't be ashamed if you don't know who your representative is off the top of your head. Not all of us are lucky enough to live in the district of a man who so infamously said Guam would tip over if you put too many soldiers on it. Kind of easy to remember Hank Johnson's name after that.
You know, I've actually met him in person on more than one occasion at various events locally, and the man smells dumb.
You know, I believe that about him. I really do.
I need to look at something real quick, because 100% the calls, they're important. They almost could not be more important.
So continue, but seriously, do it. Continue making the calls, okay? Giving the state more power. Giving the state more power while they take your guns away. Y'all, that's, man. They literally think that's going to make us dumb white people feel better. Because that's what it is. It'd be like, oh, the white people.
Yeah.
Oh.
Danny says Hank won't answer the phone and his staff can't be found.
They're on the side of Guam that tipped over.
Right.
Golly. Man, I know that I run jokes into the ground, but
okay.
That one.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and mark it off.
Uh-huh.
Next Tuesday, I'm going to stay live for an extra at least 30 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, at least 30 minutes to an hour. And we're going to call some representatives.
Oh, that'll be fun.
And I'll have you guys call in and we'll play with it. We'll have fun with it. We'll call some representatives. We'll have you guys call in. We'll call your reps while you're on the phone. You know, let you talk to the reps while you're live on air. And we may even interject and crack some jokes and see what happens if the rep realizes what's going on. And if that goes well, we'll make a habit of doing it.
You're going to get some staffer that makes $15 an hour on them. That's what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
But it'll still be funny.
But, it'll be fun.
And you know what's bizarre to me? Okay. This bill, if they wanted to do anything that would just about guarantee their defeat in November, this bill is it. What they thought was going to happen when Roe v. Wade got repealed by the Supreme Court will
It's okay.
will actually happen with this gun bill. Because theoretically, the left is going to be able to run all these commercials that say, oh, those evil Republicans, it's totally like Handmaid's Tale, and oh, no, and turns out that's not actually going to happen. But if they pass this bill, Republicans are going to just take Jerry Nadler's words and say, they are coming for your guns. No, Jerry Nadler said it. Here it is.
We want your guns.
We want your gun. Doesn't matter if you like us Republicans or not. Do you like
The point of the bill is to ban weapons in common use.
Oh, okay.
The point of the bill, to be clear, is to intentionally break the law. And this is, Alex, this is a little bit of pushback I'm going to give you. I'm going to say you didn't go far enough in what you were saying last night. So by tying it to the Heller language, you're correct that what we see here is Naddler has just said the quiet part out loud, and the quiet part is that we are entering into this activity with the explicit intent of going against the Heller decision. We are with volition of forethought choosing intentionally to violate the law with this bill vis-a-vis Heller. And that tie is easily made and correctly made with that language, weapons in common use. But I want to push that just one step further and say there has never in the history of the United States of America been passed a bill of any sort whatsoever which makes reference to guns in any way except for perhaps the regulation of safety standards within gun manufacturing facilities, which is not an intentional violation of the Second Amendment, a violation of the law, and an absolute vitiation of the oath of office taken by those lawmakers. Every single one of them that has ever signed their name to any bill or any law otherwise that in any way references guns is an infringement by definition, and they are all criminals who have committed a crime whose penalty rises to death under the law. Two of them, in fact. The vitiation of that oath of office is a commission of treason, and under the United States Constitution, only one crime is defined. That's under Article 3, Section 3 of the Constitution. Under the judiciary, it defines what treason is, and that the penalty for treason is death. But we mustn't forget also U.S. 18, Section 242, which refers, as you've heard me quote this one 1,000 times on the show, violation of civil liberties under color of law. And under 242, if the violation of civil liberties rises to the point that it could cause the loss of life of the citizen whose civil liberties are violated by the government official or official impersonator violating your civil liberties under the color of law, the penalty for that is death. Can be up to and including. Usually the penalty for that is going to be a fine, maybe a little jail time, lose your job. But the statute is very clear. That penalty can rise to death. And I submit that every single politician that has ever put their name on a gun control bill has committed a crime which is obviously going to have the effect of causing people to suffer harm unto death. And they should be tried and sentenced for that crime.
Hey, lefties, you want to get rid of the racists? Go after the people that pass gun control legislation. Just saying. Just saying. Just super saying. Okay. Oh, yeah. Let's,
Okay. It is 3 minutes to the hour.
Yes, we can squeeze in DGUs. We can do it.
We can squeeze in one. I'm gonna go with this one. This one's a follow. Go away. Okay.
It's settled. Nope.
You
It's
just
not going
lost.
to be that
You just
one.
lost me. Homeowner kills intruder in Pickaway County. Pickaway County, Ohio. A man is dead after deputies say a homeowner shot and killed him during a home invasion. According to initial reports from law enforcement, a man gained entry into a house in the 1000 block of Thrailkill Road. Thrailkill Road.
My life with the Thrailkill cult?
Okay, pro tip. If you're going to go out to burglarizing, a little recreational felonious activity, choose roads that don't have the word kill in them. Just a thought.
It's right around the block from Self-Defense Avenue.
The 911 caller told dispatchers that the reported intruder had entered through a side door in the residence.
It was apartment 2A.
And was trying to burglarize. The house. The Guardian has been unable to confirm the motive or reasoning for the man's presence at the property. When deputies arrived, they found the man deceased on the lower level of the home while homeowners were upstairs. That's a one of those.
Uh-oh.
Oh, come on. My badge stuttered.
Yeah, I know.
I'll do it again. There it goes. All right. That's one of those.
The alleged intruder was described as an African-American male who suffered multiple gunshot wounds, according to County Coroner Dr. John Ellis. Ellis said the man was pronounced dead shortly after midnight by local EMS and that the intruder had no identifiable information on him. Ellis said the body would be taken to Montgomery County for an autopsy. Signature yellow. Okay, sure.
An autopsy. Alex is a Clayton County vet. You like a me vet or a horse vet?
Probably a U vet. However, I'm okay with the horse vet. If you're a horse doctor and you want to defend your home with 223,
you imagine you kick in the front door. Oh no! You kick in the front door of some vet's house, and he meets you at the door with a big shotgun in his hand. He says, we call this the cast. What do you mean? It's for fixing broken horse legs.
Oh, Pit Daddy had a good one. He says, you mean in Pickamoff County?
All right.
And once again, the lie that good guys with guns don't stop bad guys with guns or without guns. Like if you're breaking into somebody's house, okay, so they found the homeowners upstairs and the dead guys downstairs. Was this like John Woo action level stuff here? Did they?
Well, it said side entrance. Did they blast him off a fire escape?
That's what I was thinking.
It's doing my heart good, man. It's doing my heart good.
Like, was he trying to climb up like their back deck or something? And somebody just hit his off switch?
Not today!
Oh.
All right, kids, we're going into the weekend. Y'all be safe out there. I'm going to the lake this weekend. I'm going to have a good time, but, wear your sunscreen, no sex in the champagne room, don't fry bacon naked, don't drive drink, and for God's sake.
Stop giving me advice that won't let me live my best life.
If frying bacon naked helps you live your best life, Lewis Black. There's a Lewis Black bit that you need to go listen to about blueberry pancakes. Y'all be safe out there. We love you, and we'll see you Monday morning. And I mean Monday morning at the latest. I just might do a little something this weekend. We'll see.